So hello, everybody, and welcome to Morning Mindset. Think and Grow Rich. We will be reading and sharing about pages 52 to 55. I'm Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know, and that is the website, www.growbecauseyouknow.com. Let's get started on our Morning Mindset. Beginning on page 52, we are starting a new chapter, Chapter 3, titled Faith. Visualization of and belief in attainment of desire, the second step toward riches. Faith is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with the vibration of thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translates it into its spiritual equivalent, and transmits it to infinite intelligence, as in the case of prayer. The emotions of faith, love, and sex are the most powerful of all the major positive emotions. When the three are blended, they have the effect of coloring the vibration of thought in such a way that it instantly reaches the subconscious mind, where it is changed into its spiritual equivalent, the only form that induces a response from infinite intelligence. Love and faith are psychic, related to the spiritual side of man. Sex is purely biological and related only to the physical. The mixing or blending of these three emotions has the effect of opening a direct line of communication between the finite, thinking mind of man and infinite intelligence. How to develop faith? There comes now a statement which will give a better understanding of the importance the principle of autosuggestion assumes in the transmutation of desire into its physical or monetary equivalent. Namely, faith is a state of mind which may be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind through the principle of autosuggestion. As an illustration, consider the purpose for which you are presumably reading this book. The object is naturally to acquire the ability to transmute the intangible thought impulse of desire into its physical counterpart, money. By following the instructions laid down in the chapters on autosuggestion and the subconscious mind, as summarized in the chapter on autosuggestion, you may convince the subconscious mind that you believe you will receive that for which you ask, and it will act upon that belief, which your subconscious mind passes back to you in the form of faith, followed by definite plans for procuring that which you desire. The method by which one develops faith, where it does not already exist, is extremely difficult to describe, almost as difficult, in fact, as it would be to describe the color of red to a blind man who has never seen color and has nothing with which to compare what you describe to him. Faith is a state of mind which you may develop at will after you have mastered the 13 principles, because it is a state of mind which develops voluntarily through application and use of these principles. Repetition of affirmation of orders to your subconscious mind is the only known method of voluntary development of the emotion of faith. Perhaps the meaning may be made clearer through the following explanation as to the way men sometimes become criminals. Stated in the words of a famous criminologist, when men first come into contact with crime, they abhor it. If they remain in contact with crime for a time, they become accustomed to it and endure it. If they remain in contact with it long enough, they finally embrace it and become influenced by it. This is the equivalent of saying that any impulse of thought which is repeatedly passed on to the subconscious mind is finally accepted and acted upon by the subconscious mind, which proceeds to translate that impulse into its physical equivalent by the most practical procedure available. In connection with this, consider again the statement: all thoughts which have been emotionalized, given feeling, and mixed with faith begin immediately to translate themselves into their physical equivalent or counterpart. The emotions, or the feeling portion of thoughts, are the factors which give thoughts vitality, life, and action. The emotions of faith, love, and sex, when mixed with any thought impulse, give it greater action than any of these emotions can do singly. Not only thought impulses which have been mixed with faith, but those which have been mixed with any of the positive emotions or any of the negative emotions may reach and influence the subconscious mind. From this statement, you will understand that the subconscious mind will translate into its physical equivalent a thought impulse of a negative or destructive nature just as readily as it will act upon thought impulses of a positive or constructive nature. This accounts for the strange phenomenon which so many millions of people experience, referred to as misfortune or bad luck. There are millions of people who believe themselves doomed to poverty and failure because of some strange force over which they believe they have no control. They are the creators of their own misfortunes because of this negative belief, which is picked up by the subconscious mind and translated into its physical equivalent. This is an appropriate place at which to suggest again that you may benefit by passing on to your subconscious mind any desire which you wish translated into its physical or monetary equivalent in a state of expectancy or belief that the transmutation will actually take place. Your belief or faith is the element which determines the action of your subconscious mind. There is nothing to hinder you from deceiving your subconscious mind when giving it instructions through autosuggestion, as I deceived my son's subconscious mind. To make this deceit more realistic, conduct yourself just as you would if you were already in possession of the material thing which you are demanding when you call upon your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind will transmute into its physical equivalent by the most direct and practical media available any order which is given to it in a state of belief or faith that the order will be carried out. Surely enough has been stated to give a starting point from which one may, through experiment and practice, acquire the ability to mix faith with any order given to the subconscious mind. Perfection will come through practice. It cannot come by merely reading instructions. If it be true that one may become a criminal by association with crime, and this is a known fact, it is equally true that one may develop faith by voluntarily suggesting to the subconscious mind that one has faith. The mind comes, finally, to take on the nature of the influences which dominate it. Understand this truth, and you will know why it is essential for you to encourage the positive emotions as dominating forces of your mind and discourage and eliminate negative emotions. A mind dominated by positive emotions becomes a favorable abode for the state of mind known as faith. A mind so dominated may at will give the subconscious mind instructions which it will accept and act upon immediately. Wow. I think that's plenty to start a discussion with. I'm back. Hello, John. Good to see you this morning. Rest assured, the sun's going to come up where you are because it is up here. You can see the sunshine. How's that for a powerful reading? Mrs. Live Fit, good to see you. Take a moment and kind of let that sink in. I mean, try describing faith, right? And I think he did okay. Still a little convoluted. But sometimes if I sit quietly, it suddenly makes sense. So my hope is I'll sit quietly for a moment and I'll be struck with it making sense. So I would love to have any of you. Feel free to jump in to the open seat and share your thoughts. Help me make sense of it. What's going through my mind right now is the statement that was made that, you know, if I'm surrounded by criminals, I will eventually become one. And that's because I'm exposed to that activity over a period of time so that it becomes first tolerated then accepted, then considered normal, then considered a part, maybe considered okay, so I can participate in it. So that's the negative side. So if I take that, then the positive side, right, is saying that if I surround myself with successful people, yeah, I glanced at your comment there, Matt. So if I surround myself with successful people who have a strong faith, I tolerate the way they speak and act because it's different than me. Although it's not different today, there was a time it was different than me. And it goes from a tolerance to then I accept the way that they act. And then it becomes normal. And then it becomes a part of me and how I respond and react to the world. So really, to sum it up, what's happening in my mind when related to this reading is it's peer pressure. And that where I have the control is I select the peers that are going to be around me or who I align with. I don't know. That's what I'm getting right now. I'd love to have somebody jump on and share your thoughts, or as Matt is doing, comment there, because this is a discussion. I certainly don't want it to be all about me, although it helps me greatly to get my day going. There's been some excellent things come out of this for me through the days that we've been doing this. Good morning, Deborah. I can't hear you, dear. No, I'm thrilled to have you on, but I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm hearing something.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, good. Okay. I don't know why every time I get on, I have this little glitch. But whatever.
I can't. Yeah.
So,
yes, that's the important part.
Faith is such a hard thing to talk about, whether it's in the spiritual sense, the godliness, or just having faith in something intangible like air. It's there. We know it's there because we breathe. But in the whole peer pressure thing, it sounds so negative, but it is true. If you garbage in, garbage out. If you surround yourself with negative people or people who don't support you, then you're going to, that's going to come in and filter in through your day. So, it is about surrounding yourself with the right people and the right tools. I'm so happy I discovered you. I've been lurking the last couple of days. And I've read this book 3 or 4 times now, and I'm getting more out of it now than I ever have. But something that jumped out at me, I circled it, and where is my note in my book? To make this deceit more realistic, conduct yourself just as you would if you were already in possession of the material thing in which you were demanding. So whatever your goal is, you've got to act like you're already there. And a lot of that comes too with our self-talk. Okay. 2 years ago I was doing this. We need to stop doing that, and we need to talk to ourselves. Today I am doing this, tomorrow we need to stop talking to ourselves as the old us. And we need to talk to ourselves and set ourselves up as the new us. And that's something I've been working very hard on lately. So that really jumped out at me.
What a great point. Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah. So
it's because what Napoleon Hill, chapter 2, we talked about desire. So we had that desire, which is different than the state of being for the today, right?
Right.
And what you just said was, okay, so I'm getting feedback. Anybody else getting? Oh, no feedback. Thank you. I'm really glad you guys like hearing me, but I don't like hearing me.
Well, it's distracting too, so.
So, well, yeah, because I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Anyway. Yeah, you guys are going to see the goofy Charlene this morning. Too much coffee. Anyway, to get my thoughts, and this is the whole point of the morning mindset, is get my thoughts on track so I can move forward with the day. And so I came in with a new desire. To me, it's related to the business, but it's also related to self-improvement. And so I had that, and that's what chapter 2 talked about. Chapter 3 says that we have to have the faith and the belief that the desire can be true. Right. And what you just said is that by replacing my old way of thinking that isn't helping me to move forward, isn't right. a part of the new moving forward, isn't a part of making the desire happen. By replacing that and acting as if today with my thoughts that I am already there, will eventually become a part of me. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So my question to you is, in your journey to doing that, was it helpful, or even did you have a group of peers that helped support the new language you were telling yourself?
A lot of both. I hired a business coach a few years ago. In fact, he's participated on the group, Don Jacks. And I've been working very hard on mindset with him, and affirmations and all of that. And, you know, the words are now there when I'm going through my day, my life, whether it's in my business, with my family, with my friends. When the negativity starts to sink in, I'm starting to learn, those negative people, I can't spend time. They're my 3-minute friends. It sounds harsh, but there are people that you can spend 3 minutes with, 3 hours with, 3 days with, forever with. And in the 3-minute friends are the ones that, like, there were people in my office. I came in purposely to do this in my office today. Just so I'd be in my office on time when we were done. But they're like, oh, you're going to make calls today? Why are you calling expired? Because I have to, and I want to be successful. And if I don't do those things, and, the old me would have been like, yeah, they're right. The expireds are going to yell at me, or, I'm not going to go door knock today to get a listing because nobody's going to be home. And you know what?
Yeah, I heard the sigh.
People do answer the phone and they're not nasty. and just not spending time with those people as I'm getting my, I come in, I get my coffee, and good morning, how are you? Have a great day. And I go to my office and I shut my door, and they know when my door's shut, don't bother me. But, the old me, and sometimes she still creeps in, oh yeah, but as soon, if I don't spend time with those people, I do what I need to do, and I have positive results. As soon as I let that negativity set in. So, I choose very carefully who I have lunch with. I choose very carefully who I socialize with. I don't take clients on who are just like, oh, my house is never going to sell. No, nope, sorry. You just can't, because it just sucks the life out of you, and you work so hard at being positive that you can't let those. I love my 3-hour friends, I love my 3-month friends, and I love my forever friends. Those are the people I want to spend time with because they speak into me and not at me.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty neat stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a conscious effort in the beginning. Yes. To purposefully, and that's what you're saying, and your experience has been, is to purposefully set aside or mentally walk away from, or sometimes physically walk away from those you've identified as the anchors, as the past thinking, as the negatives, as the negative Nancy's. Poor Nancy, she's always got.
I know.
So negative. Negative ninnies. We're going to call them.
I like that
because Nancy's a great name. But yes, I'm with Dawn. I love what you said, because it was so simple. It said to me to make this decision ahead of time that I'm going to begin today thinking differently, thinking as if I'm already in my end goal and that which I desire. And I think what will happen is that I will recognize those who are in my way.
Yeah, you do, and it is a process, and those, some of those people that I've not eliminated, but my 3-minute friends.
I love that 3-minute friends. I get it.
That's
I
not
get what you're
original.
saying.
That was, I think, something I learned reading a Darren Hardy book, or listening to something he said.
Mm-hmm.
But it's but it's funny because a couple of those people that I've just limited my time with are now coming to me, and they're seeing the success in what I'm doing, not only in my business, but the balance in my life. And they're like, how do I get that?
Oh, now you're becoming a magnet for them. They're
Yes.
attracted to the change in you.
Which is,
how wonderful is that?
It is, it's great. And happy to share. And I always, what books do you read? Who do you hang out with? What do you say? Do you do affirmations? Do you do, and they're like, what's an affirmation? So it's, I through my actions, I'm helping other people too, which is just wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But just, you've got to act like you already have your end result. And you've got to talk to yourself and others like you have your end result. And that's been so key over the last few years for me.
Mm-hmm. That's fabulous. Thank you for sharing that, Deborah. That's awesome. I want to invite others to join the discussion and share with me and Deborah on what we got out of that reading, because it's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. I'm going to say hey to Sean. It's so good to see you here this morning. I'm not caring for that comment because now I'm concerned about John, but we can discuss that after the reading. If he needs hugs, we can do virtual group hugs if we need to. And we've got Dawn coming in. Hi, Dawn. Welcome.
Good morning, Dawn. Welcome.
Can't hear you. Oh, there you are.
So I'm so excited to see this because I've started reading the book and I put it aside. And now that I've seen this, I definitely am going to pick up that book again and keep going.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Educate me a little bit though here. How often are you doing this?
Every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time.
Oh, excellent. So I can jump in every day except for Monday.
And then you can watch the replay.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay.
I record for only the hour or slightly less than an hour. And then just in case something happens to the Blab systems or the servers, just so you know, because it's still in beta, I upload it to YouTube.
Okay, excellent. No, I love this. And I pulled my book up off the shelf and said, I'm going to get back into it.
Yes,
so
Dawn.
Thank you.
Dawn and I have a connection, so.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Feel free to share.
We have the same coach. We have the same business coach. So Don Jacks is also my coach. And actually, he recommended that Deb and I maybe start also doing scripts together.
Yes, we'll talk about that offline.
Fantastic.
But this is great. I am multitasking, so I'm going to jump out and just listen. But I wanted to say thank you. And I saw it pop up, and I said, I can't miss this because it'll help me get through this book and keep me focused on the book and keep me accountable on reading this book. So
wonderful.
Awesome.
Well, it's great having you with us. Anytime when I open the seats up, come on in, share your thoughts.
Okay, well, thanks. Loved what you said, Deb, about the 3-minute friends. And I have a 3-hour for probably she should be a 3-minute friend that she's very negative. Everything is in the dumps. She's also a realtor. So I need to try and ease her out of my life a little bit. And
don't ignore her, just gently. Just, hey, gotta go, gotta run, talk to you when I have more time,
Right.
That's how I've done it. And
limit the contact. You're in control of the limiting of the contact. Okay.
Yeah, actually, she wasn't what started my move, but I shared an office with her, moved out of my office, then ended up switching brokers. So now she'll call me once or twice a week for lunch, but I need her to be more positive, and I feel like I can help her be more positive, but she isn't. So now there's a part of me saying, I just need to make her that 3-minute friend. So I loved that comment.
Yeah. So, hey, I'll meet you for coffee, and we'll have a quick coffee in the morning. You can get her out of your life. You know, there's so many different, but we can talk more offline if you want, Dawn, about that, because it is hard. So
yeah, but thank you for that. I loved it. And thank you for this. You're
welcome.
You're going to get me on track again with this book.
Fantastic.
And one of the things I also wanted to say is one of the things that you hear over and over and over again in real estate is what you focus on expands.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have those limiting thoughts, then you're never going to get anywhere. You've got to think ahead. You've got to think where you want to be in order to be there. You've got to work on your head before you can work on the people and the people contacts.
Yes.
Excellent thought. Excellent thought.
Okay, I'm going to bow out and listen. I'm sorry, what?
Well, I mean, I know you're coming in between doing some other things, and you can bow out whenever you want to. What I'm hearing you say is that we've got this 3-minute friend because we're in control of who we're going to have around us. But then we have somebody that we want to turn into a 3-minute friend. And I don't think that can happen overnight. No. So maybe a way for me to do that, or for anybody to do that, is to consciously now seek out somebody to replace that 3-minute friend with, or that friend, so they can become a 3-minute, almost like because, success, nor space, nor time, nor life likes a vacuum. So if we remove somebody and place them in a different role in our lives, we need to add somebody to fill that space.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if that's not a way to look at you having this issue with this person, that you would prefer be a 3-minute, and let's replace with somebody who is the 3-hour.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to try and get to know a lot of other realtors, and I've got a new office, but it's hard because realtors are always working, and they're not going to refer you business, so they're not going to, as much as you may like those people, you're not going to spend a lot of time with them because they're all busy and they're all working. So it's hard to replace this friend because it's hard to find someone to I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense. I don't know how.
No, friends. I don't know if I can put it into words what you're saying, Dawn, but replacing, I'll use air quotes.
Yeah.
It's not about really replacing. It's about eliminating. It really is. If that person, to quote our fearless leader, blood-sucking vampire,
yes.
If that's what they're becoming, they need to be eliminated from your life. So, and I'm going to do a little realtor speak. Sorry. No, I started doing coffees with past clients to eliminate the business people, and just, hey, how are you? How's the family? And, and not make it about business. And those people now have become not only great cheerleaders, but they become my friends, and they're people I want to spend
That's
time with.
That's what I was talking about with replace.
Yeah.
Yes, and I need to start doing that. I had committed to that several months ago, and then just in the, you get busy, and so I stopped doing those coffee meetings or lunches with past clients and friends. So I need to get back into that, and then stop having this other person around me so much.
Yeah, and that's fill your calendar with people that you want to be with, whether it's clients, an old high school friend. We're all lurking on Facebook. Pick up the phone and call that high school friend that you haven't seen in a while. That's what I started doing, and reconnecting with people that from my past that had positive influence on me.
Right.
Because it is hard. We're in such a small little environment ourselves.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Our offices or whatever, and they're not the most positive places in the world sometimes.
No, most days they are not. Go ahead.
So, I don't have them up because I just moved physically in office, but I have little sayings up on my wall in my old office that I've got to get over here. And they're right there over my desk when I come in the morning, and it's all the positive stuff. And some of my affirmations are there.
Right.
And, and I have affirmations about my friends, about the people I want to attract into my life. So.
Right. Well, I definitely will do that though. But yeah, I saw Don just joined too. So more coffee breaks or coffee meetings and lunches.
Yeah. To replace the negative people.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, thank you. And I'm going to be here tomorrow morning.
Fantastic.
All right,
love having you on, Dawn. Love that.
Thanks.
So that's what I was alluding to or imagining when I said replace.
Right.
You know, it wasn't a conscious effort to go out and say, well, here's Ninny. And John had a good point to a point. I think it depends on what level of friendship I have with somebody, because I have had friends for years where I've had to tell them that I'm not sure what's up with you. I just know that I can't seem to bring you on board with what I'm doing. But most of the time it's sharing who I am and what I do and the changes in me. And just as Deborah said, they're unresponsive. They're not interested in, or I get the negative feedback, which is why I so need something like this. You know, I get that negative feedback that says that I shouldn't be moving in the direction I'm moving in, even if I know that I am. So sometimes it's a conscious decision that I'm just cutting you out because I'm replacing you with this type of person that is now in my life and in my circle. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one completely. But again, that's what I was kind of imagining on the replacement thing, was that limiting the contact means that I'm doing other things. And what you described was wonderful, that you made the decision, you close the door and these are the people I'm going to be focusing on. And I love the fact that they're attracted to the changes happening in you. I think it's awesome.
So, you know, and it empowers me to just continue along my path. You know, sorry, I keep moving my computer on my desk. Sorry.
Well, that's one way to keep me awake.
So, making you seasick. Sorry. Yeah, you know, it wasn't easy. And I mean, I even got resistance from, you know, the man I'm married to for 30 years, you know, he had me as, you know, I was a stay-at-home school teacher, stay-at-home mom in the summer. I have adult children now. I need to do something for me. So building my career has been a challenge. I mean, he's been loving and supportive in his way, but I had to have a come to Jesus talk with him. Like, if you can't say something positive, please don't say it. And, you know, he's slowly coming around to what I'm doing and getting on board with that. And that's probably you know, because he's a forever friend.
Exactly. I get that feeling.
So sometimes the people closest to us and the people we love the most offer us the most resistance. And it's just, I've done things that, you know, like when I hired my business coach, there was no discussion. I just did it. And, you know, not an inexpensive decision. And, you know, the resistance that I got there, but then it was, okay, you know what? I have to prove to him that this was worth the money. So I had to take action and I had to fix me. Right. And be successful. So now he's so on board and it's like, when are you talking to him again?
Love that.
So
the interesting thing is that I can relate in a few ways there. Mine thinks that whatever I do is awesome. He is my number 2 fan. I only say that because my mother is still living and she does hold the place of number 1. It doesn't matter what I do. She thinks I'm the most awesome of anything. So he's solid behind me. He thinks it's about time, Charlene, you were doing this stuff. It's about time you move forward and be successful, build your business. It's great. What he's having difficulty with is because it's changing how I view things and how I speak and how I express myself. And so that's a dynamic in the relationship that changes. And I think that's with forever friends as our spouses and the 3 minutes and everybody in between, is because, but it's happened to him as well, though, in other instances where he's had changes and he's made changes throughout his life. And I've had to adjust because it was so much easier when you were just always the way you've always been.
Exactly. Dinner on the table, laundry done, you know.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't work that way because I don't have kids. So, and quite honestly, I would have hired somebody. I'm just not made that way.
I've always worked, but it's always been around the family.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, everything's been around. Good, bad, and different. Everyone has an opinion on that.
No, I don't have no opinion. That's your life.
Kids and it made sense for me to be home.
Of course, that's who you are, and that's your life.
Right.
I don't have an opinion on that.
No. But but now that I'm not teaching anymore, and I'm doing real estate full time, there is this whole different dynamic, and we're empty nesters on top of it. So we've got this whole new dynamic, and it's like, but I'm being positive through it. Mm-hmm. And he's more positive than he was and more supportive than he was. But, he works in he's in construction. So it's a very
so's mine
environment. So it's, but he's coming around, but that's fine. But as long as the relationship's still good, he can take as long as he wants to come around.
Exactly. So really what it comes down to, and this is what I'm hearing and what's going through my head as you're talking and sharing like that, and thank you so much for that. That's powerful stuff, is that it's not just him that's helping you or hindering you in your journey forward, in the change that was read this morning about how to go into faith.
Right.
It is, you still have these other people around you. And those are the peers that I was alluding to earlier, the peer pressure.
Right.
I still have, it's perfectly okay that my husband is who he is. He has
Absolutely.
his days. There's a front door that goes to my car, and but he does the same to me. I say, oh, he's gone. Must be a day. Oh, okay. Yeah. I get around others for a reason, and it's not to separate me from him. It's to make me a better me, and he appreciates what I'm doing, and it's difficult at times when new things come into play, but ultimately, and all when we look higher than just what's in front of us, because that's what the reading was about and what you had said so beautifully, is that this is what I want out here. This is what I'm going for. So the little bumps or the little humps or the hurdles or the annoyances, that get in the way, and that's what they become. That's what they become, because now I've got these people around me, including my husband, who's a great fan. He doesn't have to speak as I speak. He doesn't have to affirm me in the ways that I'm looking for out of the people I want to emulate and become like, and that I'm attracted to, because he is attracted to that. He just doesn't want to do it the way I'm doing it.
Right.
So there's that balance, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I kind of went a little off there.
No, I think that, that was a great summary of my very long-winded version. Yes.
Well, yeah, and I can get as succinct and simple as possible sometimes, and other times I'll just wander. And that's why I love the name of this platform, Blabs. Yeah. So we have an empty seat. I want to invite whomever would like to share to fill the seat, join Deborah and me in the discussion. We're getting some great comments to the side that I don't have to, because John's going to join us. I was about ready to read a few of his comments.
I know, I'm squinting at him.
Hey, John. Hey, John.
Good morning to you all.
Morning, John.
I'm still waking up, so bear with the vibration of the brain still activating here.
No worries. No worries.
I love the reading this morning. You guys are great. I love the comments and everything that's going on. I just, the things that I wanted to point out as far as the reading you did this morning in chapter 3 in faith are the things that he calls emotions. Faith, love, and sex, and it's titled Faith as the chapter title. And when you look at those, it's our belief systems. And you can flip over to, it's 2 pages over. He says, to make this deceit more realistic, conduct yourself just as you would if you are already in possession of the material things which you are demanding. That deceit, he has in quotes, it's a lie. So that's right. Part of where I get my philosophy of all your beliefs are lies, because everything you're saying to yourself, you're manifesting. You're putting out into the universe. You're asking God, you're asking source, whatever you might want to call it. You are the alchemist. If you go back to the very first sentence in this chapter, faith is the head chemist. Yep. You're the alchemist of your life. That's the biggest factor in this book, is the fact that this is alchemy. And when you look back through history, you can go all the way back to the Philosopher's Stone, and there's been hundreds and hundreds of books written around this concept of being an alchemist. You want to turn lead into gold. So that process happens in us. It's within us that chemistry happens. We're the chemist. We let that alchemy happen, and it begins with these concepts of faith and desire, and it's tied directly into manifestation through our thoughts that become those emotions instantaneously. So one of the things I put on the side was saying, giving back a little push to you all, because it's what I like to do sometimes, and I respect it and love it when it comes at me. To check my thinking. When you say something along the lines, and I'll just use an example, I think I've heard, my husband gives me resistance. You're instantly saying, I want my husband to resist me. I want my husband to resist this concept, this mindset, this change within me, by saying that about him. It may be your reality at the time. You may be perceiving all the past behaviors up to this moment as he's not on board with me. And that's okay. Just don't manifest it.
Right.
Put out there what you're expecting to come back, and say that type of whatever it is. You have to put it in your own context, your own words. If it was me, I'd say something like, my significant other is learning more and more about this magnificent being that they are. And our alignment is coming more and more close every day. Something along that line. Our vibration is becoming more intense, more aligned. And that's going to bring about that change in them. This is exactly what Napoleon Hill did with his son. He said, doctor's opinion, that's fine. He didn't broadcast to his son. He didn't tell anybody, hey, this is what I'm doing. In his mind, he said, I got my own opinion. I formed my own opinion. And he's conveying to his son in pure vibrational energy, you're going to hear. You're going to hear. There's no other, none. There's no plan B. There's no other option. You're going to hear. And that is he didn't say, oh, well, the doc said it's possible.
Right. No, you're 100% right. And that's what makes this great is I didn't realize how that putting it out there and saying it really what I was manifesting by saying it. So, now I have a new affirmation to write.
Good.
Love it.
And I'm not trying to attack anybody's particular. It's just one of those things that as you all were talking, it just kept pounding back at me. And I'm like, whoa, that's so,
Well, I'm glad you jumped in.
No, I'm glad. That was awesome.
That's why I want to surround myself with people who can help me catch those things, help me mirror what I'm doing, but also so that I can mirror what they're doing and get closer to becoming the woman that I want to be. And in my thoughts and in my feelings and in my actions. That's beautiful.
But you are that woman. You already are that woman.
See, yes.
Just by saying, and this is something that I've spent the last 7 years trying to master in my own life, and I will use it in the negative.
I'm forever stuck.
I'm not a master. I'm a journeyman. But it's easy for me to see it in others because of that concept of recognizing.
See, I'm always in this mindset of I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. And it's because, I have the ultimate goal out here. So that's why I love these discussions.
But why aren't you that right
now? Change the way I speak to say I am where I want to be. I am the success that I envision. I am the woman that I have been envisioning. I am her. And that's why I love these type of discussions, and especially readings like this that we can discuss, because left to my own thoughts, I see it differently.
You're gonna be better in heaven, right? You're pushing it off. Have it now.
Oh no, that's an old way of thinking.
Right.
Oh no, that's an old when I'd be around the the Catholics that would like to really go the guilt thing. And then I'd be around the Catholics that were all about the enthusiastic, life is grand, have a beer. We're Irish, let's go, let's have a good time, let's share. And then I get around the Germans and it was like, So there's the dichotomy of the family, my extended family. But yes, that's the old way, that it doesn't matter what's happening now, because the end result is going to be a kingdom worth being in. And over a period of time, well before began this, I know that the kingdom is now. I know that. Getting the other things aligned so that the knowing becomes what's in the heart, becomes a part of all that I'm doing today. Did that make sense? That almost didn't make sense to me as I was saying it. So,
Taking it in.
hey, that's the point. Get it out there. Share a little bit. This is.
What I tell people when it comes down to looking like, oh, I'm becoming this better person, I'm doing this thing. It's like, just be it now. This is what Esther Hicks says when she's transmuting Abraham. She's like, now. So you have to do it now. Now is the only thing you have now. So you are it now. You already are it now. If you want that resistance, you have it now. So if you want flow, if you want things to manifest in the way that you truly desire and have faith that they will, one of my favorite scriptures that relates to this book is ask, believe, receive. So in Matthew, Jesus is speaking about the withering fig tree, and he speaks about the mustard seed moving the mountains. And I believe mustard seeds is faith. He says, have the faith of mustard seed, and you basically can move mountains. But you move mountains not only out of your path, even though that's the way it's corrected, you move them into your path. That's the concept there. Oh. Like, you can put this mountain in front of you with the same faith the same belief system. So in that, he says, ask in prayer, prayer, meditation, whatever modern word you want to put into it. Prayer was the translated word. So ask in prayer, believe. And the trick is, here's the hinge pin on this, with no doubt. Believe with no doubt that you already possess it and you'll receive it. So it's ask, believe, receive. So we get caught up on that doubt. And this is what Napoleon Hill is speaking to, is by saying, when you have that knowing, it's just, he knew his son was going to hear. I know you're already the woman you desire to be. Uh-huh. You're giving yourself resistance by saying, I know it's coming. I know I'm becoming that person. So you have to manifest it now. And that is the reality right now.
How do we reconcile that with the reading? It says, what I got out of it, and I'm going to paraphrase it, it's a journey from tolerating the new thing around us to accepting the new thing, thoughts, and what you're sharing. Going from one to the other. How do we go from tolerance to acceptance to it gets normal to it becomes a part of who I am? What I hear you say is that can be instantaneous. And I am saying that it hasn't been to this point. I want it to be. And I say nothing else, and here I sit. Mm-hmm. Which is why I like the reading, because it's a reminder that I'm on the journey. It might be 5 minutes from now. It's not nearly as far away as what I'm saying that ultimate desire is. It was at one time. It was, well, I'm going to have years of work ahead of me. And that's very, very different than what I'm thinking today and the way I believe today. Very different. I think, therefore I am. Then the emotions come in, and therefore I'm not. So that's the way it works for me, John. And then when I get the emotions aside and the thoughts, whoo, I'm right there. Whoo. Then the thinking goes wonky, and it's the emotion, and I'm right there. So sometimes removing the head is a great thing. And I've just described, but that's my day. That's how things happen with me. So I want the repetition. I want the consistent reminder each morning, which is why I'm so glad you guys are joining me and accepted my invitation to join me. I want the morning reminder of what I am, who I am, what I'm mirroring, what I want to mirror.
Okay. I will speak if you want. I would speak back on two things there.
Mm-hmm.
First, you're using your past experiences, what you called your reality, to determine your now and your journey, your future. You said it's a journey, as you point out. That journey doesn't have to be 5 minutes, 5 years. It's instantaneous. That begins with the belief system. So what he's speaking to here is the vibration. And this is what I'll relate it to what he says in the book as far as the criminology. When you think about frequency, we're all energy. Right. And if you go into a situation, and we can relate this to your negative coworkers, if you go into an energy and you are influenced by that lower energy, which energy is always influencing us. So if you're influenced by that negative energy, which is what he's pointing out, if you go into a prison and you get stuck in that environment, you're put in a cage with all these other negative energies, you will become that negative energy if you're outweighed, if you don't have that stable belief system. So you become that energy in which you surround yourself with. So whenever two energies meet, the higher vibration energy always wins. Mm-hmm. No matter what, it always wins. So that's why when like Tony Robbins will teach, if you're going into a business meeting, get yourself hyped up, do some breathing exercises and be, well, all right, I got this. This person already bought it. They just don't know they've bought it yet. That type of mentality. When you're going into these situations, you got your coworkers or resistant husband as the terminology you're using, put your higher vibration out there. Get yourself in that higher state. It doesn't have to be crazy. Right. It's an internal.
I'm very thankful for that, by the way.
Leave the to me.
That would so freak him out. It has wigged him out. I've done it once or twice just to see, and it's kind of amusing to see how wigged out he gets, because that is not his wife. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we find if you look at Oriental cultures, their higher vibration is silence. Is just pure silence, being at one with yourself and being in that state of just knowing. Mm-hmm. You just know. You're in the vortex. You're in that vibration.
So see, John, what you're describing, I think, is very similar to what Deborah and I were talking about at the beginning, which is turning those 3-hour friends into 3 minutes. Who am I going to surround myself with? Whose energy am I going to align with? Whose energy am I going to take from so that I can and I do what I want and I become what I want? Peer pressure kind of thing. I know I want to simplify it to that point. And it's because I'm uncomfortable with some of the terminology. And that's why I'm doing this, is I'm still getting used to some of the terminology that we're using. And I figure we can talk quantum mechanics all day long. It's the quantum physics part that gets a little wonky with me. So learning. That's what I'm in the process of now. That's what I'm doing now, is I'm adjusting to what makes sense at what I'm hearing, trying to make sense of it.
So who controls your energy?
I do.
Okay, so if you're around those people that you're saying, I'm going to make you a 3-minute person, who controls the influence? If you're perceiving that as a negative influence, who controls your energy, you or them?
Well, if I perceive it as negative, I'm going to be negative because it's me that controls the energy.
So you adjust your energy to their level.
Well, not really. Okay. I don't.
But you don't want
to.
I do. You don't want
what
to.
I do. All right. So number one, I don't really care for realtors, and it's because.
Thanks.
I was going to say, isn't Deb a realtor?
In general, what can happen is after I've met somebody for a short time and they say realtor, it's a slap. Well, that's why you're so self-centered. I get it. That's not to say that realtors are awful in I'm just doing the generalization.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm talking. Deborah, you shut your door on the others. Okay. So, but it's anybody that I know. I'm picking on realtors for a reason. She's sitting here. there are many people that I come across throughout the day that I have known for a long time, and I truly appreciate who they are and what they're doing in that moment, because in my eyes, they are one of God's children that deserves my attention. They are a human being that needs to be acknowledged. I cannot and I will not completely ignore somebody in my path. I just don't do that. I've learned my lesson. When I do that, and this is from the past, when I do that in an effort to protect myself, the real ignoring, I continue to have space in my head for them because it's just not right. That's not how I'm made. So I acknowledge who they are, and I see that they have absolutely no interest in learning anything more about me or changing or understanding where I'm coming from or really caring. But in that moment, I am acknowledging this is you, this is who you are, this is where you choose to be. I don't have any problem with the arm's length, being detached. Detachment is perfectly okay with me. That's me in control of my energy, if you will, and my vibration of what I call who I am. That's in control of who's going to be around me and who's going to have influence. Then there are some people that get past that. And then it's the struggle of, are they going to suck me into their energy? Are they going to suck me into, and that's where I was coming from when I was talking about replacing those who I'm recognizing are really anchors, those who have gotten space in my head. You all know about the letter that I wrote. I fired the committee. I named them, I named them. Those were the anchors. Those were the 3-hour, almost forever friends, 30-year, they were there. Are you hearing me? They were there.
Right.
They've been replaced, which makes it easier for me to stay focused when I come across those 3 minutes. When I come across somebody that is, the minute I'm around them, I can feel it. So it's the detach and a recognition and an acknowledgement of who you are. You are right where you want to be, and give you a few minutes because I must. It's who I am. And then I can walk away. Okay, did I babble there?
No. I'm in agreement. I mean, I know what you're saying, John, but I am in control, and I don't change my energy when I'm around those. My energy is my energy when I'm around those people, but I just don't spend a lot of time with them.
Well, see, Deborah, you just put it in a little nutshell. Beautiful. Beautiful. Put it in a nutshell. I need you on here more often.
I'll be working most mornings. Yeah, I actually have time to participate today and not
I'm so
actually.
glad.
Yeah, so
I am so glad of that.
But yeah, my energy is my energy. I don't, and anybody who knows me really well, this is what you get. And my husband will be really proud I haven't dropped the F-bomb yet. Being from Boston,
I'm proud of you too.
Word. Inside joke, but I speak what's on my mind. I try to do it in a very loving, compassionate way. My energy is my energy, and if we agree, great. If we don't agree, and I can have, there are a lot of people in my life that I don't agree with, but I love that banter because it's not negative; it's just opinion. So,
you're choosing who's going to be around you, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever the reason is, we're now given the freedom to choose this. Yeah. We're now given the freedom to choose who is going to be around us at any given moment. That is one of the things that I got out of this, is that I have the choice to remain or to change or to bring somebody else in. Don, it was a pleasure having you here. See you tomorrow. It was great stuff. Great stuff. All right, we're at the top of the hour. I have to be mindful. I need to be mindful of those who have joined us for the hour and the replay watchers. And I want to respect that the expectation I gave them, which is that the morning mindset will last about an hour. So I'm going to shut this down in terms of the recording, and then I do have some time afterward to banter, to chatter, to share some more, and I invite everybody to stay here. I don't want anybody to feel like you have to jump right off. So to close out, I want to thank everybody who has participated. John, Deborah, rousing discussion. I loved it. Don, for your comments to the side. Sean, as always, for your comments to the side. Matt, I'm going to get you on here sometime. I will do it. That's going to be my goal. Just so you know that energy's out to you, dear. You've been walloped. So you know. All right, so I'm going to sign off now. Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know. Let's move forward with the day on purpose, with purpose, to grow our hearts, grow our minds, and grow our business. So until next time, have a great